Hello everyone. Let me introduce to you new changes in Magento PhpStorm plugin. So the biggest problem with AI agents is context. The more skills, schemas, MCP tools you add, the more tokens gonna be wasted even before the model starts to solve actual tasks. So in new version, I've concentrated on making MCP toolset more straightforward and context friendly. So instead of exposing like thousands of tools to the context, I've created this simple front door approach. So we're gonna have 4 main tools, and the agents need to reach out to the tool multiple times in order to get a schema how to work with it, instead of just exposing everything to the context. So for example, if you need scaffolding, if you need to generate CRUD, agent gonna reach out to Magento scaffold, ask which scaffolds we can generate. Then MCP server gonna respond with exact list. With having this list, agent gonna ask about exact schema needed to be provided to generate, for example, CRUD. And in third step, it's gonna provide this data and get the generated code. It will work way more efficient than before in terms of context weight. Another improvement is skill generation. So we're gonna have skill generation right in the Magento plugin settings. So those skills will be specific to PhpStorm plugin. There are two of them, Scaffold and Inspect, and you can install it in the project folder or agent-specific folders. For example, I'm usually using Codex, so I can add Scaffold skill here, and it creates all the exact folders that it needed for work with Codex. And yeah, it's pretty basic. It tells the model which tools do we have in scaffold command, and you can add your own workflows here and adjustments. So yeah, and another advantage of using scaffolding with Magento PhpStorm plugin is permanent changes, because you can go to templates and you can add actually permanent changes here. If, for example, you want to adjust PHP constructor or like observer, anything else, you can edit it. For example, you don't want to have this one, you can just remove it. And if you use Magento MCP scaffold command, it's gonna generate the code with this permanent changes every time agents call it. And this is the best way to do permanent changes, because agent can ignore skills, can ignore prompts, can ignore guidelines, but when it call exact MCP with templates, it cannot just ignore it because it's in the code. So yeah. But do not expect magic from this functionality, because in 90% time we are not generating new code. When working with agents, we mostly debug something or do some really specific code generation. So it's mostly for straightforward tasks and maybe some migration and so on. So it's gonna cover like maybe 10% needs or less. But still, it's good to have this one in the toolset. I'm personally tried it in testing mode and works fine, and you can check the previous video when we migrated open source block into our custom implementation, and the code was generated exclusively by this Magento scaffold feature. And that's it for this release update. Thank you for watching. See you in the next videos. Cheers.